Everyone, thank you so much for coming. I'm Rick Dover of Dover Signature Properties. Glad to welcome you this morning on a beautiful fall morning, and what a great weekend it was. Now the leaves are changing. We had a very comfortable football game to watch. The weather's great. And now, to crown it all off, after 3 years of work, we're going to announce that we're going to break ground now on the new Supreme Court redevelopment. This has been, gosh, what a journey and a exciting project to have worked on all this time. For someone like me who for all these years, 40 plus years now, has been doing development, when you get involved with urban situations like what we have in Knoxville, and our experience now is so great for visitors and residents and people working downtown, the worst thing you can have is an empty building in a block. That kills it. And the only thing that comes close to being as bad as an empty building is a flat surface parking lot. So this has effectively been a dead zone surrounded by such a wonderful experience that downtown Knoxville has become. So now we're going to get to make something really wonderful happen here that will energize this whole section of downtown and add to the experience that everyone has when they visit, live, or work downtown, which will be just something that just makes me so proud to be involved in. And I have to say that none of this would have happened without the leadership from Mayor O'Hara. And I just can't thank you enough, Mayor, for your vision, for your dedication, determination. All those things apply in spades to this project. Yeah.
Nail biting.
Right. So this is kind of like, in some ways like, the two happiest days of a boat owner's life, when the day they buy it, the day they sell it. So for a developer, you have those 2 days are the days that you break ground and then the day that you cut the ribbon. So this is one of those really high point days when we're going to have a groundbreaking, and we're just so happy to be here. And Mayor, we would not be here without your leadership and your vision, and we thank you for that. Mayor O'Hara.
We got a couple of your tall ones here. Good morning. Well, I loved how Rick started this off, that you talk about a UT football victory, you talk about fall in Knoxville, and then we talk about the groundbreaking for this project, and that's about right. This is as exciting as the others. So I do want to start by recognizing our council members are here, and I know Mayor Jacobs will announce the commissioners. So our Vice Mayor, Finbar Saunders, raise a hand. Councilwoman Stephanie Welch, Councilman Mark Campen, and Councilman George Wallace. I also want to recognize my two deputies to the mayor who are here, my chief policy officer, who I'm going to talk about him again in a minute, and Bill Lyons, who has been involved a long time on this piece of property, and also my deputy to the mayor and COO David Brace. Thank you all for your leadership. So today does mark a very important step forward for Knoxville and for our downtown. As Rick said, we are standing here in the middle of an entire city block that has been underutilized for many decades. And in fact, except for the surface parking, this place has been completely vacant for about 15 years. It's going to be very exciting to watch as Dover Signature Properties and Bristol Development Group invest $76 million to breathe new life into these 2 acres right in the heart of downtown and adjacent to our convention center. This has been a difficult project to get to this point. As he said, it was 3 years for you, and this is the 3rd time for us working on a project. So this has been a long time coming. Twice before, the city worked with development teams as they tried to come up with the right mix, the right concept, but both times the developers couldn't find a way to make their proposed projects viable, and so this block continued to remain open. And that's why I want to again recognize Bill Lyons. He has worked on all 3 of these attempts, so he is probably as happy or happier than any of us to finally see this groundbreaking happen. So thank you, Bill, for being there, not only for me, but for Mayor Haslam as well, in trying to find a solution to this site. If redeveloping the city block and saving this historic building were easy, it would have been done by now. So I'm glad to have the proven expertise of Dover and Bristol as they take on one of Knoxville's biggest redevelopment projects to date. It's important to remember that they are preserving the historic 65-year-old former Tennessee Supreme Court building with its iconic East Tennessee marble and mid-century modern style points. So we have watched Rick pull off the near impossible rejuvenation. Seems like every time we're always like, okay, you're going to do this? Every project we've been with you on, but you've done it. So the Farragut Hotel near now the downtown Hyatt Place, historic Knoxville High, now Knoxville High Senior Independent Living, Oakwood Senior Living, the old Oakwood School, and that was a real challenge there. Alexander Inn, now the Alexander Guest House, and coming soon, a repurposed South High School. So it's fair to say we have a lot of confidence in you and look forward to continuing to work with you as this project moves forward. So thank you to Rick, to Charles and your team for your persistence and patience in bringing this blighted property back. And soon we'll bring hundreds of new visitors and residents to this western edge of our downtown. Thanks, Rick. Okay, and now I'm happy to introduce Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs.
I'd like to introduce the officials who are here. We have Commissioner Larson J., Commissioner Commissioner Evelyn Gill, and also Commissioner Justin Biggs. Also, my Chief of Staff is here, Brian Hare. Jane Burrett from PBA, I see her, as well as the Knoxville Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Mike Odom, who's here. Appreciate y'all being here. This is an extraordinarily exciting project. You know, even though it's a city thing, the health of a community is really greatly dependent on a vibrant downtown, and anything that can happen to increase visibility opportunities downtown is wonderful. We live in a very eclectic community. We live everywhere from essentially, Knox County has everything from where I live out in Halls, which is pretty much country, to one of the best downtowns in the country. And this is only going to add to it. And it is nice to see development here on the western edge of downtown, which is going to help, again, just bring this area up even that much more. And not to repeat everything that Mayor O'Hara said, but anytime that Rick Dover is involved with a project like this, it just comes off wonderfully and is something that the entire community can be proud of. So we appreciate Rick, the people from Bristol, and everybody here, and also Mayor O'Hara and everyone who made this possible. It really is a great project. Thank you.
I have to stay on script. I am so honored in this project along the way to have gotten to meet and get to know Charles Carlisle. Charles is CEO of Bristol Development Group out of Franklin, Tennessee. I think they're the preeminent developer of multifamily properties in urban situations throughout the Southeast, and I'd like for you all to now hear some words from Charles. Charles Carlisle.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, Rick. We're really thrilled to be part of this development and grateful to have Rick Dover as our partner. It's been actually fun and interesting to work with Rick over these last 3 years. Now, the first thing I want to do, though, is thank my longtime friend and former partner, Phil Lawson, from here in Knoxville. I think many of you know Phil. If it hadn't been for Phil, we wouldn't know Rick Dover. He was gracious enough to call Rick and suggest that we might make a good partner to work with. And he has been a cheerleader and supporter of us ever since. And I think Phil is a great asset to the Knoxville community, and I'm proud to call him a friend. We love being in Knoxville and consider it a location that's a great long-term investment. In part, that's because of the quality of life, especially here in downtown. It's got a vibrant and strong economy, but I now have firsthand knowledge to say the other thing that we really like is the quality of its governments. And that's something that is a very important factor for us in trying to decide whether to locate in a community. And in Knoxville, you can tell by looking at me, I've been around a long time, and I've never had an experience like this of the quality of the professionalism and courtesy and responsiveness, and that starts with the city, but also the county and the many boards that we had to work through to get approvals. And I'm grateful for that. And I think that quality does start with the leadership that we have here in the city and the county. We're grateful, Mayor Rajero, to you and to Deputy Mayor Lyons. Y'all have put in a lot of work and time, and there were a lot of people on the city team that worked with us to get through these last 3 years. We're grateful for that support. We're also grateful to Mayor Jacobs and the County Commission for their support as well. Proud to be here in Knoxville. We've also had some great design professionals, architects, engineers, consultants working with us, and they've just about finished the actual construction drawings for this. And so we're fortunate now to have Hardaway Construction of Nashville as our partner to do the job of construction. And they're eager to get started beyond this hole in the ground right here. It's a privilege we have to create communities where people live and carry out their lives, and we take that seriously. The other thing that we take seriously right now is the faith that you all have placed in us to live up to that faith, and we intend to work hard to do that. It's going to take another 2 years plus to finish construction of Church and Henley, the apartment portion. And then it's probably going to take another year and a half to reach a stabilized occupancy. And we, Scott and I, and a team of people will be here frequently during that time. But we also plan to be long-term owners of Church and Henley. So the last thing I'm grateful for today is that I've got a lot more excuses to come back to Knoxville and say, go Vols. Thanks.
Okay, if everybody will grab a shovel, let's get this done.
Hey, Bill, you need a shovel.
Could Ferris Eade from DIA, who's our architect, Ferris, would you please come forward? David Frazier from Hardaway, would you come forward? Scott? Am I leaving anybody out? I think we're good. Thanks. Thanks, Mark. You're welcome. Good morning. Come on up, everybody.
I have to wait in there, dude. No, absolutely. No,
Let's get in here kind of tight, get everybody kind of shoulder to shoulder, please. Stephanie. Here, I'll swap.
Oh, sorry.
No, come on, you need to.
Thank you.
Okay, snap away, cheese. Halfway. Egan was still there. Get one. All right.
Hold them out. All right, somebody count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa. All right.